what does high performance look like? What should it look like? How does a positive accountability look like in a team that is performing at such a high level? So I've seen your intensity in that go up as you've come back to work within the company.
One is that um, it is very, very challenging to go into an environment like an NFL football team behind the scenes, because there is so much skepticism by coaches, players, but even more so front office and coaches, more than the players, of the value that you bring to the table. They tend to, a lot of GMs, front office staffs have come from scouting backgrounds. So they're often um, uh, very focused on what they believe brings value to a team, specifically the talent, um, what what a player can directly bring to a play, to a scheme, to a system. And so issues that have to do with people development, development of trust, outside of performance, all of those are seen as very, very suspect. And so when you go into that environment, I'll remember when I was introduced by Coach McDaniels to the rest of the coaching staff. You could see all of the every eye was just burning. Who is this guy, and why is he here? And
A welcoming feeling, I'm sure.
oh, you have to have a real sense of internal self-belief and a real commitment that you know what you know what you know, and that I'm going to stay on purpose, and no one's going to pull me off of that. The other thing is I had to remind myself every day that I'm not responsible for getting people to trust me. I am responsible for being trustworthy. And I found that the players who were most skeptical at first, by the end of the season, they were some of, I mean, you were in the car last week. One of them called me on the phone last week, and he wanted to see how I was doing, and he wanted me to know about his engagement. And I mean, it's pretty cool to watch that, but it is an ongoing, every moment you have to be conscious that people are watching you, and that people are cynical. I had one guy say, "There's not a day that someone didn't come up to me, Dr. Johnson, and say, 'Why is that guy here?' Why is he here?" He plants himself in the meal room, or he plants himself in the training room, or he's walking around the field, or he's always in a meeting room with a coach. What's he doing? And I have enough insecurity that I had to constantly fight that. That's the challenge behind the scenes of, and yet we know that what I found is what I teach, that you don't try to focus on everybody. I knew within the first day, the first hour, who would be the coaches that I was going to struggle with. I also knew in the first day of the 60 players that were there, who would be the players that I probably didn't need to be spending a whole lot of time focusing on.